The AirPods Max were the center of controversy when they were first announced back in 2020. Partly because Apple products are an easy target for memes about the high cost, but also partly because these same people had a good point. $550 for a pair of over-ear headphones is a lot of money, but if anybody were to pull it off, it would be Apple. And so once these headphones shipped and people started using them, the jokes slowed a little bit because people were quickly realizing that the price tag wasn't so outrageous after all once they realized how amazing they sounded and how comfortable they were on the head. Sure, a good amount of people still thought they were overpriced, myself included. I made that clear on my videos here on the channel. But after more than a year of using my AirPods Max nearly every single day, my opinion has changed. And I want to talk about my experience with them. So let's start with the price of the AirPods Max because they have gone down a little bit here in 2022. So you can now pick them up for under $500 on Amazon with occasional sales coming in closer to $400. And to me, they're worth every penny at that price, and I'll explain why, starting with the design. So we have the anodized aluminum ear cups, we have the stainless steel telescoping arms, which are absolutely amazing. We don't have the little notches like on your traditional headphones. It makes it so easy to adjust these while on the head, and they also feel extremely premium when doing so. We have the knit mesh headband, and of course we don't have any logos or any text anywhere throughout the AirPods Max. And I think these just look so sleek, so modern, so mysterious, and just super high quality. Even from the outside looking in, even if nobody knew what these were, you could just look at them and tell they're high end. There are 5 different muted colors to choose from. I went with the space gray myself, but I've seen others with the sky blue, and I think those also look really great. You could also mix and match with different color combos by purchasing a set of ear cushions from Apple for $70 per pair. There are 2 buttons over the right ear cup, the digital crown, which controls your media playback, volume, and Siri, and the noise control button, which allows you to switch between active noise cancellation and transparency mode. And if you look at the top and bottom of the ear cups, you'll see numerous cutouts for microphones. So there are 6 external microphones and 2 internal microphones. These, of course, are used to enhance the noise cancellation and transparency modes, but I also noticed that they help a lot when taking phone calls. Everybody tells me that I sound great and I sound really clear when talking through the AirPods Max. And I've taken hundreds of phone calls on these headphones over the past year because I wear them literally all day, every day. Since I work at home alone and most of the day consists of just scripting videos, responding to emails, and doing things on my computer, I need headphones on to keep focus. But not just any phones, I need comfortable headphones like the AirPods Max. And I've gone through tons of over-ear headphones, but the AirPods Max are hands down the most comfortable set I've ever put on my head. And it's partly due to that mesh headband, but it's more so because of the way Apple figured out how to make these not feel super heavy on the head, because these are heavy headphones when you pick them up and hold them in your hands, but when you put them on your head, they just don't feel heavy. I can wear these for 6+ hours a day and I don't feel any fatigue. And when I walk or run with these, or when I go up and down the stairs, it somewhat feels like they're floating on my head because it doesn't feel like all that weight is being pushed down on top of my head. The only thing on the AirPods Max that's given me any type of discomfort or fatigue after 6+ hours of wearing these straight is the ear cups. So they're super comfortable, don't get me wrong, but they do apply a lot of pressure to your ears. They conform really well to your ears, and after a while, your ear will become a little bit sore. It's not anything drastic, but it is one thing I noticed after wearing these for very, very long periods of time. As for the durability, I've run into walls, I've run into objects, I've hit the ear cup on metal. I've just done a lot that would cause scratches and scuffs on these AirPods Max, but as you can see, there's nothing to show for it. Anytime I would bump into something, there would be a little mark on the aluminum ear cup right here, but I would just be able to wipe it away with my finger. Sometimes I would need some water, but it would always wipe off and there would never be anything that stayed there, which is super impressive to me. And then I'm also proud to say that the knit headband has not ripped on me. So this was the #1 concern I had when I first got the AirPods Max. I figured within the first year, they would definitely have some sort of wear, some sort of small little rip, but there is nothing here. And I've done everything to, cause these to rip. I mean, mean, I've stuffed them into backpacks, stuffed them into suitcases, I've carried them by the headband on several occasions, but it's held up well, and I don't have any issues with this at all. It turns out to be a lot more strong and durable than I expected. Now, some people have also reported condensation issues where they would see condensation when they took the ear cups off, but I've not noticed this once because I just simply have not been looking for it. I mean, nothing I've done has made me feel the need to check beneath the ear cups or underneath the ear cups. I've never had the urge to just take these off and see if there was water in there. So no, I've not experienced that. And even when I did, after reading those articles, I did not see any condensation in my AirPods Max. Now, comfort and durability are nothing without solid audio quality. So when I first bought the AirPods Max, I already had the Sony XM4s, but I also bought the latest Bose over-ear headphones just so I could compare, the top-notch headphones under $550, and I made a video on that here on the channel as well. And of course, audio quality is completely subjective, and I'm not gonna sit here and get into a debate about what headphones are better than the others, but the thing I will say is that the AirPods Max have the best bass and the best overall sound of any headphones I've personally used. The Sonys and the Bose have better highs, but I like bass and I like clarity. So the AirPods Max are the best mix of both worlds, and they're perfect for me. And I have to say, for anybody, if you like bass in your music, the AirPods Max are definitely the best you can get for under $550. I would definitely say that. But what really sets the AirPods Max apart is the convenience. The ability to auto connect to your devices when you put them on your head is a huge win for convenience. Not to mention the auto pause when you take an ear cup off your head and then resume playing when you put it back on is just amazing. If there was a lack in audio quality, if you didn't like the audio quality, the convenience factor alone would make up for it. But it does both, of course, very, very well, in my opinion. The only time I've had an issue with the auto connect feature and just the convenience in general is with my MacBook Pro. So when I want to switch audio between different iPhones and iPads, it happens seamlessly when one starts playing audio. But for the MacBook, the AirPods Max never auto connect to them. You always have to tap on the pop-up or just go into your settings to connect them manually. It's not a huge deal, but I do wish it was just as seamless and as easy as it was with iOS and iPadOS. And it's also kind of annoying because sometimes if you get a notification on a phone, it will switch the audio source to that phone that had the notification because it was a sound on another one of your Apple devices. But it doesn't happen all the time, and I keep my phone on silent most of the time anyways. Now, we also need to discuss the active noise cancellation because this is another key deciding factor when anybody looks to buy a new set of headphones. And I have to say that the noise cancellation on the AirPods Max is top tier. It is the best of any headphones I've used in this price range. When I wore these on the airplane, I was blown away at how good they blocked out the babies crying and just the overall loud noise of the plane. So if you're strictly looking for the best active noise cancellation, the AirPods Max are the best in my opinion. Now, transparency mode is also awesome. This is where the headphones let in ambient noise so that you can hear your surroundings if necessary. So it's excellent on the AirPods, but I honestly hardly ever use it. It's great to use if you need to talk to somebody, standing right in front of you, but I've only had to do that on a handful of occasions. I find it more useful on the AirPods Pro personally, given the situations that you would be in when you need to use transparency mode, like on a bike ride or talking to a cashier in a store. I'm always wearing my AirPods Pro for that, not my AirPods Max. But nonetheless, it is amazing on the AirPods Max. It just sounds awesome with these on your head. And it's the same with spatial audio. So we have dynamic head tracking, and it is absolutely amazing on the AirPods Max. So if you use this feature on the AirPods Pro, it's cool, but it's not near as immersive as it is with these. I actually prefer watching movies and TV shows on my iPad with my AirPods Max on, just so I can experience this instead of on my big screen with a full audio setup. It just sounds amazing. It's like 3D audio, and it sounds like you're hearing these things in real life from different directions. It's just awesome. You have to experience it with the AirPods Max specifically. I should also mention that when wearing a hat or glasses, the AirPods Max don't miss a beat in terms of audio escaping out of the headphones, and that's because Apple uses adaptive EQ to adjust the audio based on the ear cushion's fit and the seal. So it measures the sound signal and then changes the low and mid frequencies in real time. So with all of these awesome features and with so much happening at once on the H1 chip inside of the AirPods Max, you would expect battery life to just be mediocre. But it's so much better than mediocre. I never even have to worry about the charge level of these headphones because they just seem to last forever. So Apple claims 20 hours of battery life while using active noise cancellation and spatial audio, with a 5-minute charge adding an additional hour and a half of listening time. I wish Apple put a USB-C port on the AirPods Max, but thankfully, since the iPhone also still uses Lightning, I always have a cable with me, so charging has never been an annoyance or an issue with these headphones. And they also don't have an on or off state. They're always on technically, which I love since it's just like my car, my Tesla. So when you're done with them, you just put them away. Now, there is a bit of a catch here. In order for the AirPods Max to not drain battery after you take them off, you need to put them in the carrying case so that they enter an ultra low power mode. Now, recent firmware updates have helped with battery drain a lot because it used to be bad with battery drain. When you would not have them in the carrying case, they would drain battery like crazy. But I've had no issues with that over the past, 2 to 3 firmware updates. Ever since then, they have not drained at all, even when outside of the carrying case. And let me just take a moment to say that I still hate the carrying case. I thought that it would grow on me, but it just hasn't. I'm not a fan of the style or the material. It shows wear very easily, and it just is not ideal for throwing in a travel bag. I wish it was a hard shell case like we have with most other headphones nowadays. I find myself just keeping the AirPods Max around my neck 99% of the time, especially when traveling. They're just comfy when pressed up against my neck, and it's convenient to put them back on when I need to. And once again, it doesn't drain battery anymore like it used to in the past. The Find My features like Notify When Left Behind were also added via a firmware update, and I love this feature. It allows you to locate where your AirPods are, and of course you get a notification if you leave them behind, just like with the AirTags or the AirPods Pro. Now there are false triggers sometimes, but it doesn't happen very often. But the fact that Apple is pushing out firmware updates consistently for these headphones is another big reason I love them. There's always going to be, minor changes and bug fixes throughout their life. So even if I have an issue now, it'll most likely get fixed in a soon to come firmware updates. I also wanted to touch on the $35 Lightning to 3.5mm cable because I bought this thinking that it would be good to use when editing videos or in other random circumstances, but I literally have used this like one time, and that's because there is still latency. So this defeats the purpose of why I bought this cable in the first place. It's fine to plug in and listen to old MP3 players or plug it into something with a 3.5mm headphone jack, but for me personally, it has latency when I go to edit my videos. When I plug it into the headphone jack on my MacBook and I listen to it on my headphones, there's still latency. So there's really no purpose of plugging these in if I could just get the same, latency and the same sound as I can wirelessly. So to me, this was a total waste of money, but if you're buying it for other circumstances like to listen to old MP3 players, it'll be fine. It is overpriced. It's $35, but it is what it is. That's a typical Apple accessory for you. But overall, I love the AirPods Max, and I cannot imagine using any other headphones now. The audio quality, the convenience, the battery life, the comfort, the build quality, everything is top tier in my opinion, and I've used a lot of headphones, so I've been comparing these to every set of headphones I've ever used. I'm hoping that the next generation finds a way to support lossless audio wirelessly, and that Apple completely changes the carrying case, but aside from that, I have zero complaints, and I feel like my $550 was well worth it, especially given that I use these every single day and they become essential to my workday and when I travel. I have to have my AirPods Max or I can't function. That's a little bit dramatic, but that's how strongly I feel about these. I really feel like I'm missing something when I don't have my AirPods Max on. So there you have it. That is my experience with the AirPods Max after using them pretty much every single day for the past year plus. So if you guys have the AirPods Max yourself, let me know how your experience has been down in the comments below, or if you don't have them yet and you want to purchase them. Let me know what's holding you back down in the comments below as well, and I will try to answer any questions you might have. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you give it a thumbs up, and of course, make sure to subscribe for a lot more high quality Apple reviews. So anyways guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.